Sergeant First Class Heidi Tufto is a single mother in Estes Park, Colorado. After serving in the Army for 4 years and becoming a school teacher, Heidi answered the call to return to duty and join the Army National Guard, serving as a Chinook helicopter crew chief. During her 11 years in the Guard, she has led rescue efforts in the aftermath of Hurricanes Katrina and Isaac. But when disaster struck in her own backyard, she faced a more personal challenge to come to the aid of her own community in its greatest time of crisis.
As a crew chief, we're responsible for everything from the maintenance of the bird to the loading and offloading of all the passengers and equipment. Primarily what we do is try and keep everything as safe as possible and still accomplish the mission. A Chinook crew is a little bit different from any other helicopter. It's an enormous helicopter. We have a very broad spectrum mission set. Loading food and water to loading 50 dogs to if there's a bad blizzard, we'll push hay out the back for stranded cattle. We do a lot of things that a lot of other aircraft can't do, especially at the altitude because of power management. We can do some pretty significant water rescues because we do have the ability to float, which a lot of aircraft don't. So that's kind of a fun mission. We did have one boat rescue during this last flood.
In September of 2013, Colorado was struck by the most devastating floods in the state's history. Residents were forced from their homes, faced with destruction of epic proportions. The Colorado National Guard was deployed to flood zones to help evacuate stranded victims, offer transportation for search and rescue, and in some cases, lend a helping hand to their own Guard comrades affected by the floods.
Colorado suffered a major setback. There are things that are going to take a year, if not years, to rebuild. There are mountain towns that are completely cut off. They have no power, they have no water. Whatever food they have on hand is all they're going to get, and we're heading into a winter, which Colorado winters are pretty notoriously bad. I see this as a massive emergency, on par even maybe with Katrina. It covers a much larger area. There are a lot more towns that are affected, but all the major infrastructure is gone. There's homes that are completely devastated. There's just pieces and parts, and we were doing rooftop extractions with the Blackhawks. People just stuck out in the middle of a river that used to be their front yard, and I'm sure they're going to deal with some pretty significant emotions. They have nowhere to go right now other than what's provided for them by the state, and I can't imagine. You're happy in your home 1 minute and the next minute it's gone and you have nothing. All your memories are gone, and that's significant.
The scope of the floods presented immense challenges to search and rescue operations. More than 12,000 people were displaced by the flooding, leading the National Guard to assist in the largest airlift operation since Hurricane Katrina and helping to evacuate more than 1,000 residents in secluded mountain towns, isolated due to destroyed roads and bridges. The scale of the flooding is estimated at about 4,500 square miles, roughly the size of the state of Connecticut.
We had flooding here at this home, and instantly you want to take care of yourself and what you have to take care of, but there are so many people who had it so much worse. I was able to make some phone calls, and next thing I knew, I had a pump here and I had people here pumping water out of my basement. There is a huge wealth of experience. These people on the civilian side, some of them are plumbers and some of them are roofers and some of them are painters and some of them are doctors. So, there's so many resources available. You have so many different people with so many different backgrounds and experiences, and they're all there for you and they're all part of your family.
Sergeant Nick Cornelius of the Colorado Army Aviation Support Facility was directly involved with critical aerial evacuation operations.
We were doing everything from search and rescue to welfare checks and inserting sheriff's deputies, search and rescue teams, food, water supplies. The majority of the missions were evacuation missions, though, taking stranded families and individuals out that had no means of evacuation. It really defines the saying citizen soldier, to be able to come out here and help our neighbors and our friends and fellow guardsmen. this is the way of life up here. You know, these people, they're secluded and they're out here and they're tight-knit communities, and you know, they take care of each other, and that's how it's always been out here. And you know, some of them just don't want to leave, and that's okay. You know, as long as they have the means to take care of themselves and take care of each other, then that's their right to stay.
It's quite an honor to be able to go help other people. Being completely cut off from food and water and having no power, or you know, losing a loved one, or having your home washed down a river is pretty devastating. So to see the emotion on their face when you come for them, and to know that they're really glad to see you, is tremendously important. I think, you know, we're pretty blessed. We're pretty blessed.